starting to think that maybe I'm the problem, because everyone around me has a freaking boyfriend who treats them incredible and is super nice to them, and I, for some reason, can't get a boyfriend, and they all don't want to commit to me, and they just want to use. I feel so unlovable. Is it just me? Or is it everyone? I don't know, I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind! God damn, I feel so unlovable. I can't do this. Everyone around me is I feel like I'm third wheeling all the time. Am I the only one? Okay.
I saw a stat today that said women from the ages of 18 to 29, liberal women is increasing. Like, it's increasing a lot. And men are becoming more conservative. And I feel like this is great news, because I feel like that increases my chances of dating a conservative man. So ladies, if you're trying to become more liberal, you do whatever you want to do. That's fine. But conservative men don't date liberal women. They don't. You prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But I don't think it works well, which means my dating pool options maybe have just increased.
The reason women prefer conservative men is because conservatism lies in its original truth, which is hard work, purpose, and family. And no, affiliating with a specific party does not determine your worth and the kind of man you are, but your ideologies definitely reflect the kind of character of a man that you are. Women are just naturally attracted to providers, men who want to protect. The roots of conservatism is based off of traditional ways of living. And no, that doesn't mean you have to have a hand cart to pull or to churn butter, but it primarily supports the natural instinct of a man, which is to provide and protect. It doesn't mean that every conservative man is a perfect man. There are plenty of people that make mistakes and aren't good people, but the basis of conservatism is to work hard, protect, and provide. A man's man is going to lean more towards traditional values, which conservative parties and ideologies tend to support traditional values more than, let's say, leftist and liberal ideologies or parties do. Men who are natural providers and protectors are naturally going to lean more towards conservative morals and values, because the roots of conservative morals and values contribute more to a man who is in his healthy masculinity. And that is why women are naturally attracted to conservative-like men.
Why is every single man that I'm attracted to a Republican?
I don't know. I just want to know. I want to know why the only guys who ever take me seriously are the Republican men who want to settle down, have babies, and make me quit my job. Because that is not going to happen ever. But those are the only men who take me seriously, and I don't know why. So, hello. My name's Maddie, and if you're a liberal hottie, hi, 2026, try something new.
Who's more attractive, liberals or conservatives?
Conservative men, absolutely.
My boyfriend, he's a conservative, baby.
Conservatives. Not even a question. Conservatives, all the way.
They usually believe in God. You know, they have those good foundational values. Better to raise a family with, in my personal opinion.
Conservatives, 100%. You don't want a skinny little liberal boyfriend. Absolutely not. I want my big, hunky, country, conservative boyfriend. Amen.
Amen.
Conservatives for sure.
Conservatives.
Why conservatives?
I'll take a look.
I'm not into blue hair, so...
Conservatives?
Conservatives, easy. Easy question.
Conservative women, obviously. Family, faith, and freedom.
Conservatives, because they have masculinity.
Conservatives, because they have standards. You heard it here first.
71% of people who say they're politically liberal won't date somebody who's politically conservative. 41% of people who are politically conservative won't date somebody who's politically liberal. And then you're thinking, why? Does that mean that conservatives have lower standards? No. It means that the people who say they're conservative are generally men, and they're like, yeah, I'll date a liberal. And women are like, no, because women always have higher standards in dating because they have a higher investment in dating than men do. That's just how dating works, as a matter of fact. So that's why you see those asymmetries, and the result of it is that fewer and fewer couples are getting together. I mean, when I was I'm 60. Well, I was already actually locked down at that point. But when I was 23, all I wanted to do was meet my soulmate. I couldn't care less. I mean, I fell in love with a girl who didn't speak a single word of English. How could I know what her politics are? I couldn't have cared less what her politics. She could be a communist revolutionary. If she's meant to be my wife, that's the way I want it to be.
Well, you kind of just defeated your own argument, right? Because you were saying, well, man, she's beautiful, man. I like this, and this. Michael Bublé actually did the same thing. met a girl. She's very, very beautiful on the set of one of his music videos. He says, man, I got to know more about this girl. Started taking Spanish, learned a little bit of Spanish. She knows a little bit of English now today. But, and they figured out a way to communicate and know more about each other. And that's what dating is. Even if you both speak English, you get together, you communicate, and you learn a little bit more about each other. So he might say, I'm conservative. Ooh, conservative means you vote for Trump. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I might agree with some of the stuff that Trump does, but, you know, maybe not, you know, fully agree with everything that he's doing. Well, why did you vote for Trump versus Kamala? Well, I felt like Kamala was this. And y'all can sit there and have a discussion, like an actual, not discussion without tension. Like, you're not going to blow up. I mean, you're going to disagree. You're going to disagree on some stuff, but you're not going to blow up. You're going to respect each other. It's going to be a respectful discussion, right? You say, oh, okay. Yeah, I do actually agree with that about Trump. And you see, I never even knew that. Well, yeah, because you think about things from your perspective and your perspective only. So if somebody comes in and say, well, I voted because of this, and this. Oh, I never thought about it like that. Or I did think about it like that, but I never went in depth like that. So that's men going out and saying, okay, I might be able to make this work. They're figuring out, because this is what men do, they figure out how to build a structure. That's why, and Dr. Cheyenne Bryant actually said this, when a man has a child, he's like, well, okay, well, let's figure it out. Let's see what we can do. I don't know what I'm doing, but let's figure it out. A lot of these ladies out here, they have set in their mind the way they think it's going to go. That's not a standard. That's rigidity. That's you being stuck in a certain way of thinking, and your way of thinking might be wrong. Some of it might be valid, but some of it you probably need to change. So this stuff about, well, they got higher standards, that's not a high standard. And I wish a lot more people were educated about that. I wish we'd start making a differentiation between what's actually a standard and what's actually just you being uncompromising. You wanting the man to go the way you want the man to go, but when the man asks for a little space on your end, oh, I don't do that. I ain't did that. That's not a flex. That's not a flex at all. We got to stop.
There are a lot of really attractive men who choose to date objectively unattractive women, and it's because unattractive women, and yes, I know beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but you know what I'm talking about. Unattractive women are less risky. Even if this man had a beautiful woman who was not a hoe, who was super loyal and faithful and was like, here's my phone code. Some men cannot handle it when a beautiful woman gets attention from other men. It makes them feel very insecure. It makes them worried that she's going to leave them. And so dating a woman who is less attractive is just more risk averse, and it feels more safe, and it makes these men feel like they have a leg up too, because a lot of them think, oh, well, this woman's never going to find better than me. I know that's kind of messed up to say, but that is the mentality, and I know that because I coach a lot of guys. Anyways, if you were wondering, now you know. Bye.
Struck up a conversation with this girl that was like from Europe, and she was visiting Toronto, and she just was like, by the way, like the men here, they just don't like, they don't approach you, or like they'll find you attractive and just kind of like do nothing. And I was like, yeah, welcome to Toronto, sis.
Do y'all think that's a product of just society as a whole? Because American women have that same sentiment over the last 5-10 years, been vocal about men not approaching them. So now men are like, all right, well, y'all have been the loudest talking about y'all don't want men to approach us. Don't approach me. Don't talk to me if you see me in public. Like, so now we're following suit, and now it's like, well, y'all not trying to approach. I'm like, which one is it? Like,
I think it's how you approach, though. It's not always just about the approach. I think it's how you approach. Sometimes it comes off a little.
I think it's how attracted you are to the person when they approach you.
I notice female do that. Women do that too. Like if a man's not attracted and they approach them and they're not interested, they're like, oh, this guy's a creep. But if he's fine now and he comes and it's like, oh, okay, like it's a little different. Yeah.
I feel like the men here don't even really initiate. Y'all be letting the women come to y'all because y'all know it's so many of us. That's also why you guys feel like you're the prize. Because there's so many of us, y'all just feel like y'all don't have to do anything. Like you're too cocky. Like,
let me ask you this. What makes a prize a prize? A prize?
Something you put value on, something that you're chasing after. That is a prize.
is defined by its value. What makes something valuable? Its rarity. Since there's less men, we're technically more rare, which by definition makes us the prize. A prize is based on value, and value is determined by its rarity.
Technically, yes, but I don't feel like that's the perspective.
Why does it have to be a matter of what you feel? That's what a prize is. If you just look at what a prize is, a prize is deemed off of value. Fuck feelings. Feelings go out the window. We just talking about black and white. Is value this or is value that? Not how you feel or what you perceive value is. Let me know down below what y'all think value is, or who's more valuable, man or the female. Let me know down below.
Born with a penis between your legs, can you just be so honest? Why is it that you guys will claim that you're just like head over heels, all the things for like a woman, and this same shit that you claim is what attracts you to her, like, is the same shit that y'all be trying to shut down in so many months. Love her, but leave her wild, bro. Not for the streets, but if you love that she's loud and bubbly and personable and everybody else loves her, why are you making her feel bad that she's personable and social whenever you guys go out in a couple months? Like, bro, why do y'all do this? Why is up front, like, it's, oh my God, so endearing. But then within like 90 days, 120 max, it's the same shit that y'all either run for the fucking hills on or you get intimidated by. I need somebody to fucking break this down for me like I'm in kindergarten.
Is she flirting with people? Then that's a problem. Because that's when her personality needs to be reined in a bit. The same way if you were, like y'all say, playing games all day, a man is playing games all day, then that, hey, go play your game. But you need to rein that in a bit because, you know, I'm here. I would like to have some quality time. You know, so it's kind of the same concept there. You don't need to dramatically change a person, but we're working under the assumption that this person is perfect the way they are. And a lot of times, even though they have very, very good qualities, that other person probably helps with some of the challenges that they have. Right? So they might be nice and willing to help, but they might be too nice and willing to help all the time. And that's why they get taken advantage of in some things. That other person will come in and say, hey, I mean, you're nice and I love that about you, but you're a little bit too nice and people are taking advantage of you. Here's how you can stop that. And that person will grow from that experience with the other partner.
I wasn't aware that bringing back high heels, actual high heels in our department stores or our regular stores was supporting the patriarchy. I wasn't aware that the girls should not be wearing the high heels because the men, that's what they want us to wear. They want us, no, men don't want us in high heels. Men like to look at women in high heels, but they don't want us in high heels. Should we also abolish bathing suits and start wearing just sweatpants and a big t-shirt to the beach? Because you know what men like? Bathing suits. Yeah. The same girls who are hating on this type of girls being pretty are the same girls that are obsessed with what men think. They're obsessed. They do everything in their life either to love a man, to hate a man, piss off a man. You need to focus on yourself. Get back on your own life. Do whatever the hell you want to do.
Can we discuss the ratio between decent or attractive women versus decent or attractive men? Because women, we come by the pound. I mean, we come in packs, all fine. And then men, not so much. Like, who fault is that? Eve?
It's crazy because you're saying this with a full face of makeup. You're making this statement with a full face of makeup on.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're not a true baddie if you allow your man to tell you what you can and cannot wear. Your man should never ever feel comfortable enough to be able to dictate that. Ever. No excuses, no exceptions. Period. Baddie card revoked immediately.
Well, she's going to be a respectful baddie. She's going to be a baddie that actually wants to remain in a healthy relationship, not a toxic one. So this is a conscious baddie. This is a non-toxic baddie. This is a baddie that cares about health, wealth, and happiness.
You bitches is funny on here talking about some, why y'all didn't get your guy nothing for Valentine's Day? Why you didn't get your guy nothing for Valentine's Day? Like, I'm not buying a man shit on Valentine's Day. Like, my man, no. Valentine's Day is for me. Sweetest Day is for him. Like, I'm not buying a man love. Why would you buy a man something on Valentine's Day? It's literally created for girls. A man has to ask you to be their Valentine. So why did you buy a man a gift on Valentine's Day? That don't even make sense. Just say, The nigga don't like you for real, and you gotta buy the love and attention. Like, I'm not buying a dude nothing on Valentine's Day. I've never heard of that in my life. I've never seen that in no movie, no TV show. I ain't never seen it in the ad. Y'all just start doing that shit. Like, don't swing that over here. Like, Valentine's Day is for me only, honey.
Well, there's really nothing to say here. It's just a stupid take. So, I mean, hopefully it's rage bait. Hopefully.
I don't know who needs to hear this. If he's only paying the house bills, then he's not providing. If he's only paying bills that he would have anyway, if he were single, then he's not providing. If he's going to work and coming home and being like, I worked all day, that's not providing. We want emotionally intelligent men who come home and realize that they work to live, not live to work. And if he's only providing, if he's only paying those bills that he would have anyway if he were single, then he's not providing. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Only paying the house bills. Only paying the house bills. Oh, that's something he was going to do anyway. Y'all don't really understand that. It just, for whatever reason, it just seems, or it is, that when you add somebody else to the house, the bills actually go up. Food is eaten more at it. In general, you're going to use more electricity. There's usually another car that you have to pay for, another car that you have to fill up with gas, right? So he's got to go, and you don't want to fill up your car, so he's got to go do that. So he's got to pay more in electricity. He's got to pay more in gas if you use a toll, but we're not going to do all of that. We're not going to go there, right? Like I said, more in electricity, more in gas. You have to buy more food because once again, he's got to pay the bills. He's going to be paying for all of that. And the rent. Y'all are not going to usually stay. Say, for instance, he's got a 1-bedroom apartment. Y'all not going to be in a 1-bedroom apartment. Y'all might go get a 2, right? At least. And that's more in rent. So he's got to pay more in rent. So he's paying more with you. I know you probably don't think that. I know you probably going to think everything's going to be the exact same thing. And I'm really an incremental change. What I'm bringing is marginal. The things that I bring are marginal. But when you start to add it up, it's actually a little bit more than you would actually think. But of course, y'all are not self-aware, so y'all say stuff like this.
In regards to the young lady who lost her life in that fight, I'm seeing people say, why are boys fighting girls? Since when are boys hitting girls? It's because y'all bitch asses are telling y'all sons to hit the girls back. Yes, you're telling your little ass sons to hit the girls back. Yep. Instead of walking the fuck away, go telling. Y'all are encouraging that shit. And y'all are surprised that the child took it too far. It's a fucking kid. The messaging that you tell kids, they gonna take that shit and run with it. That's when I made that post 2 years ago and it went viral. And I was like, y'all are really encouraging y'all sons to hit girls. And everybody was like, yeah, I'm gonna tell my son to two-piece her. I'm gonna tell my son to let her flat the fuck out. I'm gonna tell my son. Okay, well now he stabbed a little girl. The little bitch ass little boy stabbed a little girl.
I don't know what you guys got going on, but if a young lady is putting her hands on a man, then I'm not sure what you expect. You need to keep your hands to yourself. Period. End of story.
My young brother, listen to me. I pull up in the Rolls Royce. I pull up in the Lambo. I got the motion. And sometimes they still don't text back. Sometimes they still fall asleep at 8 p.m. on a Friday. And sometimes they're just at the club in another dude's section. It doesn't get any better. It's life. I wish you the best of luck. Godspeed.
I just posted on my Instagram story about how Shrek is not a fairy tale. It's a cautionary tale, an example of how a woman cannot turn an ogre into a man, but he can make an ogre out of you. Because she started as a princess, she had generational wealth, she could have had a pet dragon. And because she was stuck up there, no hobbies, no friends, the first person she meets is this moody ass stubborn ogre that basically negs her. She takes that as a sign to get him to like her, and she falls in love with him. He manages to get a princess to settle for him, an antisocial outcast, lives in a swamp. Isn't he also unemployed? She's thinking, oh my god, I got the loser to love me. Alienates herself from her family to live with him in a swamp, gets baby trapped. She's also an ogre now, so if she ever wanted to leave him, she's severely limited her potential dating pool. He's not willing to change anything about himself or the way he lives or to level up in order to provide for her and their family. Did I mention she lives in a swamp when she could have lived in a castle? People try to trick women into not caring about material things, but there really is a level that you need to care about when you're going to raise children, okay? Men can go their whole lives sleeping on the floor, but how are you going to raise children in that kind of environment? You could be the prettiest and richest girl in the land, and if you don't have a hobby and some friends, you'll end up in the swamp with an ogre, and you'll become an ogre too.
I mean, Fiona was already an ogre. She was already an ogre. So, I mean, that didn't have anything to do with Shrek. What happened was they were, Shrek was doing his thing. He had some stuff to take care of. She, in some form or fashion, joined him on that journey, and that's how they bonded together. So he really gave her space to be who she was. I'm thinking about another story or a situation where a woman was 21. I think her husband was 31 at the time. They got married. She had one part of the puzzle. He had another. They put it together, and they started making a lot of money. She said, okay, I really don't want to do this business we're doing anymore. We're making a lot of money, but I want to go do my own thing. So she started doing her own thing, and stuff started going the way, a successful business does. And she decided, okay, I want to really branch out and start doing my own thing. And I guess he didn't want to go in that direction, right? But the problem there is she actually forgot what happened. Well, people grow apart, this, and this. And I did this and I did that. And she tried to make it seem in so many words that she was the reason for his success. And it wasn't really that. At the very least, he had a piece of the puzzle. She did. They put it together. They got rich. But the more you go, you start rewriting history in your brain for some reason, thinking that you're better than the man, thinking that you're more than the man because now you're making a little bit of money. And that's what you're trying to do here. Oh, she was way more than Shrek was. She was this, and this. No, she was who she was. Shrek just gave her the space to grow and to figure out who she truly was. In the same way that woman that got divorced started talking about, I was this and I was that. No, you was a single mom living in your parents' house. That's what you said. And when you went in with that man, he gave you space to test out your skills. Marketing, advertising, it worked for the business, but he gave you space to test out who you were. And as you grew, you said, oh man, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. But you would have never been there if he had not given you the space to be who you are. Y'all out here rewriting history and be dead wrong. I'm glad people in the comments recognize this. And they on your behind. You're dead wrong.
Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet are living proof that when a medium ugly man bags a baddie, his value immediately goes up. It's not Timothy, it's Kylie Jenner. Me.
But Timothée Chalamet, he had already done Dune. And even before that, I can't remember when I looked up some statistics or some research on it. Dune wasn't even the movie that put him on the map. He did like another movie back in 2017, 2018, somewhere around there, where that was, pretty. He received some pretty good reviews from that movie, and then he went to Dune, and that put him, obviously with Zendaya, that raised his status up even more. And then obviously Dune 2, was a pretty good success as well. But I think he and Kylie started being linked together around early 2023. Dune was 2000. He filmed Dune in 2019. It was released in 2021. So this sort of thing about medium ugly or medium ugly man and stuff like that as a high status man is really the word that you're looking for. Of course, he went on to do commercials for Chanel, for their clone Bleu de Chanel. So this is a high status man you're talking about. I don't think Kylie Jenner is paying for floor, even though she probably could. She's not paying for the floor seats. It's probably him doing that, taking her out. So I don't know what you guys got going on. Or, maybe because of their connections, they ain't have to pay for it. That's an entirely possible thing too. So, anyways, you guys, y'all think y'all are the ones doing it, but once again, you're not.
You know how people say the audacity of men is annoying, eh? When people say men have audacity and is annoying, that's true. The audacity of men is annoying sometimes. But let me tell you, there's some audacity that some men would have that is sexy as fuck. The audacity is sexy. Oh God, give me the words to explain this. It's sexy audacity. And before I continue, let me say this type of audacity is not for every type of man. It is only if you have beauty privilege, if you're handsome, if you're a fine boy. You must not only be handsome, you must have aura points. You must have courage, demeanor, if you are like that, you can have this type of audacity. Don't look like or be acting like two glasses and then you want to have the type of... It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Let me give you guys an example. Now, if you've seen Mea Culpa, have you seen Mea Culpa? Those of you that have seen it, you can relate. But if you've not seen it, go and watch it on Netflix. You get the context of what I'm talking about. That guy in Mea Culpa, that main character guy, so... You see the audacity that guy has is sexy as fuck. And he can have that kind of audacity because he is sexy as fuck. There's a way a man will move with you, and this is also dependent on how the man treats you. If you're soft with the woman, you know how to treat a woman, you know how to be with a woman, you can tell her, come here, and she will come. She will obey. You can tell her, stop running your mouth, and she will fold. She will stop running her mouth. It is dependent on how you look, oh. It is dependent on your aura. Ima, no come tell me stop. Ma fue blow. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody.
So basically, what you're saying is what men already know, and it's a good guy. It's got to be the good-looking guy, 6 foot 6 inches, 6-pack, blah blah blah. Basically, you're telling us what we already know. Basically, you're telling us y'all are gonna fold to somebody that is a Chad or a Tyrone. We already know that.
If the youngest girl a man will date is as young as the law permits, he is the reason that law exists. He's a PDF file, girl.
So modern women like to basically demonize men. And this is why they get left behind. Because she's talking about specifically dating, but if you kind of stretch it out to look at a more broader scale of how men operate in the world, this is why women are left behind a lot of times in corporate America, a lot of times in the world, because they stay within a imposed boundary. And men, a lot of times, as you can see, even with crime rates, statistically speaking, they're more on the extreme of things. So you might have men that are extreme in being a cop, firefighter, somebody who is in the service, military, protection and provision, that sort of thing. It's majority men. I think it was 82% or something like that. The military is 82% men or something like that. And then obviously law enforcement, firefighters, majority men. So we want to be heroes. And then the other side of that, the other extreme is we want to be criminals. We want to be serial eliminators, serial people that, prey on women, basically. So that's two lanes of the extreme. And there's a fine line in there which is why you have the law. And the law says, hey, you're getting too far away from what is allowable. And now we have to come and enforce it to you because you act like you don't understand it. Right. So that's what law enforcement is for. But my point is, y'all stay within a certain boundary that you put for yourself. And you believe because you stay in that boundary that you've put for yourself, that a man should stay in that boundary. And you think because the man goes outside of that boundary and explores, then he is wrong for it. He's bad for it. I'm better than him because why would you do that? The way that I think. So you sit up in your house and you talk about how a man is going and doing things that you would never do. when it's perfectly legal. Like that, we can talk about, once again, how men, when they were 18, they were going to war. And then women out here continue to say men men used to go to war. Well, these young men were 18. Some of these young men were 17, just turning 18. And so you have the 17-year-old, which he hadn't had life yet, going off to war, but that's okay with you. But when a man decides, oh, she looks pretty. Oh, well, she's 18. Oh, okay. All right. We're just hanging out. She'll be fine. Oh, how dare you? Where's your moral compass? When he's exploring two different extremes, right? So he can be a hero and go out there and give his life for you so you can talk trash for him, talk trash about him. Or he can say, hey, I would like to date this young lady. It's a band. He could date a woman that's 100 if he wanted to, or he could date a woman that's 18. Well, if we change the limit, then you would do that. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. Right? But what you're trying to say, you know what? Some men are actually no. Because most men follow the law. We know that statistically. Most men follow the law. Criminals aren't going to follow the law, which is why they're criminals. They don't listen to what people say. So they go ahead and do it, which is why you have law enforcement. But the men who follow the rules, they say, oh, that's within the rules. Let me do that. Y'all want men to play by your rules. Y'all want men to do what you want to do. Y'all want men to act how you want to act. Y'all want men to think how you think. And when a man says, no, I think a little bit differently, you get mad and say, oh, well, you must be beneath me. And that's why you get on here saying all that nonsense, right? And like I said, this is what gets y'all left behind in every area of your life. Is what gets you left behind. Because men say, is it within the rules? Is it in bounds? Am I doing any harm to anybody? Is anybody being done wrong? Well, she's been done wrong by this, and that. All right, do you feel like you're being done wrong? Well, you should, Let her say. Let her speak. Even if you come through and say, young lady, don't do this, and this. Even if you, hey, I would never, if he's 50 years old, you're 18, I would never do this. Speak to her. If that's what you want to do, talk to her. Counsel her. If that's what you want to do, go ahead. But she's free to make her own choice. And if she still decides to go with that man, even if you don't agree with it, what can you do? He's within the rules. He's within the boundaries. Now, if he stepped outside of the rules and he said, well, I'm going to go after a 15-year-old or 16-year-old, 17-year-old, that's out of bounds and the law would be enforced. But y'all talking about people who are within the rules and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, but because they don't think like you, then they got to be some terrible person. And now you're trying to put them as a criminal. Is crazy. Because there's a lot of stuff that you do that people look at you sideways for the stuff that you do. But of course it's okay because you're a woman.
Question: do guys still expect girls to message first on Bumble? Because they changed that feature a while ago where only the girl can message first, but I feel like I will get matches and still the guys don't ever message me first. And I'm wondering if guys still expect girls to initiate.
Men will not approach women who they think are too attractive, at least generally speaking. And it's not even because men are really scared of approaching them, they're scared to get rejected by someone that attractive. It's because of the lifestyle that comes with dating a really attractive woman. It really takes a very strong-minded man to be able to date a very attractive woman without losing his complete freaking mind. Because these men are constantly going to have to deal with the most elite, OP, god-tier ass men trying to get with their girl at all times. Most men just straight up cannot do that. And a lot of them try to, not knowing that they can't handle it at all, end up trying to control their girlfriend in every way, shape, and form, try to get them to delete all their social media, and basically never leave the house. These men are in constant fear that their girl will eventually run into a man who they can't compete with on any level, like an NFL player or some crap. They also don't want to have to deal with the judgment that comes with dating a super attractive woman, especially if they aren't super attractive themselves. Let's say that you're a guy who's a 5 out of 10, and you're with a woman who's a 10 out of 10. People are constantly going to be like, what the hell is he doing with her? And you're going to get a lot of unwanted attention and looks just from being with someone that's that attractive.
Why is he having to do that? If she's actually there doing what she's supposed to be doing, he should be okay. I know a lot of times we like to attribute all of the issues that are going on with men to man's insecurity. But we seem to forget that some of these women out here are acting terribly. They're behaving terribly, and they're accepting that attention from these men. So yes, I would be insecure about that, because it seems like you're messing around. It seems like you are actually, in fact, entertaining these men, even though you're not doing it overtly. You're doing it in a more covert manner, I would say. More covert. Well, I didn't tell him to come over, but did you accept things from him to make him think that you were wanting his attention? Well, not directly. So you did. So he thinks that there is some chance that you would want him. Oh, well, I really don't know. I'm not in charge of that. That is what somebody else is thinking. So you're going to play these games with me. Just because a woman is fine don't mean she's mature. Just because she's fine does not mean she's mature. Got a lot of young ladies out here walking around doing stuff that they should not be doing. And they get away with it because they're pretty. But they messing stuff up along the way.
I think it is hilarious when men get on the internet and they're like, all these women out here complaining about they can't find a good man and they can't find someone that wants to commit to them. But I guarantee you that they have multiple men in their DMs, or they've dated multiple men who want to give them the world, but they don't want those guys. They only want to go after blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we want men that we want. I don't know another way to put that. I don't understand that. We want to date the men that we like. I don't get why that's crazy. And it's most especially laughable when you consider the fact that men do the exact same thing. Any grown adult person who has done like a minimum amount of dating has encountered someone, man or woman, who likes them, but they don't like them back. Like, that's a part of life. You don't have to be with somebody just because they want to be with you. That doesn't make any sense. And like, most people have been on both sides of the coin. Like, I've been the woman that rejected man because he wanted me and I didn't want him. And I've been the woman rejected by a man because I wanted him and he didn't want me. Like, it's just, that's a part of life. You live and you learn. I don't know what to tell you about that. You don't got to be with somebody just because they want to be with you. What kind of a world is that?
So you don't understand the entire issue. The entire issue is women, a lot of ladies are not. So for a lot of men, they're not going to get approached a lot. A lot of men are not, they don't have the same options that an average woman has. So that's why they're saying you've probably passed up your man. Whereas a man in his entire lifetime might have 3 or 4 women, maybe, that he's interacted with and dealt with on that level. A lot of these ladies out here, on average, have interacted with more men than that. And they might not even look as good as that man, but they've interacted with more men. So if you come across 4 women in your entire, like say for instance, if that's until 18, a lot of these ladies out here will have had a man. Even when they're young and in elementary school, young man, little boy, and then you get morph into a young man and into a grown man coming out of high school. You've been getting interest from men. So even if you had 10, 15, 20 at that point, your chances to have a man are in a lot of different cases more than double what a man gets. So yes, how is it that you're not able to find somebody that you're attracted to and you have more than double the chances? That's something that needs to be answered.
I really resent this wave of your man doesn't do enough for you, therefore you should leave him. Because if he's not doing the emotional labor to be in the relationship, yeah, you do deserve better. But sometimes you guys start sounding like that one guy who was like, he has no Rick Owens, no Balenciaga. I mean, we're acting like your man is a flop and needs to be cheated on and broken up with in real time right now because he did not buy you the Miu Miu fleece. I'm 23, my boyfriend's 24. boyfriend cannot afford the Mew Mew fleece right now. Not yet. I'm sure in some time he could, right? God willing. But I don't think that love needs to be expressed via gestures of tap that credit card and Balenciaga. I feel like people don't recognize when they're giving into the heteronormative BS standards of capitalism. Sorry to throw in these words. Sorry to throw in the jargon that I'm using, but it is the truth, and I do want to lift the veil. It's not like the serve you think it is. It's not the help that you think you're providing. Telling your girlfriend that her man isn't good enough for her because he drives like a Nissan instead of a BMW or, I don't know, a Jaguar. I don't even know how much Jaguars cost. It's not going to help her out. Her boyfriend might be real nice. Sure, he's not a millionaire. But a lot of us are quite young and our expectations are also oh so high. And even if you're not quite young, even if you're in your 40s, 50s, and your man cannot get you the Rick Owens, I feel like that's pretty normal. I don't know. Call me crazy. I just feel like it gets to a point where you guys start sounding crazy, and that's just my 2 cents for today.
The fact of the matter is you don't need that type of stuff. And they're putting pressure on men, and men just don't, why don't men rise to the level of this and that? I don't care about it. I don't care. And I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to keep on stressing myself out day in and day out. I'm not going to keep on doing it. I'd rather eat by myself. I'd rather watch TV by myself. I'd rather do the things that I want to do by myself. You're going to keep on ruining my day. I don't want to be around you. You're a loser. With the way that you think, you're a loser. And this is why most men stay single today. Because of this nonsense that she's talking about right now. I don't want to go through it.
Valentine's Day this, Valentine's Day that. This is what I want in a man. I want a boyfriend for 2 days a week. Okay? This is the plan. 1 weeknight hangout. I would like it to be a Wednesday or a Thursday. This is cuddly, fun, wholesome, cute vibes. Dinner is paid for me, obviously. And then, as you can see, hookup optional. Anyways, then we get to 1 weekend hangout, preferably a Saturday night. As you can see, we do dinner together. It's sexy fun. We're having a grand old time. And then intermission, right? Intermission means you leave me and I go hang out with my friends. I go to the club with my friends. We have the grandest time ever with your credit card. Thank you so much. It makes you happy. It makes me happy. Then I come home to you. We have the grandest, sexiest time you've ever seen. Great. In terms of communication for the rest of the week, weekly gifts are allowed. You can send me a song that made me think of you. You can get me a jelly cat. Other than that, we are not together. We don't speak. Need I say more? Of course we need bits. Everyone needs a bit. A bit is what makes this world go round. These can include characters, voices, of course just little inside jokes, but like bits. Honestly, this is the most important thing on this list. This is constant will they, won't they. Of course we will, but I need this to be a mystery. This needs to be, whoa, what's gonna happen? Are we gonna hang out? Are we not gonna hang out? This I know I'm gonna see him and I know we're gonna hang out. It's gonna be the same, No, constant will they, won't they. And this is not to hurt anyone's feelings. This is for pure joy and fun. My thesis statement, this is romantic, but it's not serious, okay? This is not serious. We're having fun, but it is absolutely romantic, and we love and care about each other, but just not in a way that feelings will get hurt. My DMs are open, and if you are that guy that I made out with at the bar last weekend, please text me back, stop ghosting me, this could be us. You know you want it, babe. You know you want it.
This is why women keep on getting dogged out. Chad and Tyrone are looking for this arrangement. And Chad and Tyrone will keep on showing up in your inbox. And you will continue to get taken to Pound Town by Chad and Tyrone every weekend. Because they don't want this. They don't want all of this long-term stuff either. That's the market that you're looking for.
But mind you, we have the same thing. He's cooking dinner for the kids, tending to the kids, cleaning the house because mom's never stopped.
Isn't it interesting how so many women would rather come online and humiliate their husbands and make them out to be like this villain instead of actually taking something that's negative, like being sick, and turning it into a positive reinforcement for their marriage, like getting him medicine, taking care of him, instead of picking up your phone and recording him to humiliate him and further break down the trust and communication between the two of you, because posting on social media in his most vulnerable state is more important to you than actually having a healthy marriage. Can someone make it make sense? Because how do you expect to have a healthy relationship and a healthy marriage if your first thought is to pick up your phone and record? But not only that, is you want to like prove that he's some kind of villain because you're not as sick as he is, and somehow that makes you the better parent or the better partner. What? And then let's just put this in perspective. If you were changing your clothes or you were getting ready for a date night and he was recording and he was basically essentially saying that you were fat or shaming you or calling it marriage humor or trying to paint you as like a bad person in a vulnerable state, you know damn well that everybody in the comments would be calling him a narcissistic piece of shit. And, you know, you would be told to leave that man immediately because no woman deserves to be humiliated. But when you want to humiliate your husband and make yourself feel better for supposedly being the better parent for not being as sick, you know, that's okay and perfectly normal. Like, make it make sense. Did we all not learn anything from COVID and the way that COVID and other sicknesses affected everybody differently? Like, someone next to you might have gotten it 10 times worse than you, and you both tested positive. Is this not the exact same scenario? So let's put this into perspective. If your mom got sick with the same flu, right, and you're fine and your mom is on her deathbed, would you be then recording her? Probably not. So why is it okay for you to record your husband in the same capacity? Because you don't respect him, but you love your mom. And when that same man gets tired of being recorded, or he has shown numerous times that social media validation and attention and humiliating him on the internet is more important than actually taking care of him and being in a partnership, and he decides to eventually leave your ass because he gets tired of it, you want to turn it around and claim that he never did anything, he's narcissistic, he's a piece of shit, he abused you emotionally. Well, you sit on the internet and you break his trust. You record him without consent. You want to upload it as like a funny joke, as if that's not some form of psychological and emotional abuse. You do not really love that man if your first thought is to record a video like this and humiliate him and make him feel bad when he's already down. Would you appreciate it if your husband was already kicking you while you're down? You wouldn't. So why is it acceptable for you to do it to him? And let's be so for real. I hope that the next time that you're sick and you're down bad, I hope that your husband, instead of going to the store and getting medicine and making a plan to help you or to get you chicken noodle soup, I hope he picks up the phone and makes you feel like shit. I hope he records a video to remind the world that, you know, he's not as sick as you, to make you out to be the villain for not getting up and helping you around the house. How would you feel? But that's right. You can't even comprehend how that feels because that's probably something he would never do to you. To all of the men out there, this is not acceptable behavior. This is not cutesy marriage humor. This is somebody who wants to humiliate you and put you down for their own self-worth and their validation for literally no reason, and this person does not truly love you. Okay, bye.
Well, Sarah, what you're trying to do is use logic again. And you know, with these types of loser women, they don't use logic. They sit up there, oh, well, look what I'm doing this and I'm doing that. That man, and this is something that they won't say, that man, while you sick, will go out and get you all of the things. Put it at your doorstep, go and leave you alone, and you down and out for maybe a couple of days, right? I just stayed in the bed. I did a little bit of work, but you know, I just lounged around and he made sure I had food and I was taken care of, and he made sure I had little treats and this and that. And that's okay. But should that man actually be sick and try to recuperate for a few days because he's been working this whole time? Men continue to work this whole entire time. When you're sick, he's still working. And then when he says, you know what, give me a few days, I'm feeling a little bad, but I'll be back to normal in a few days. Oh, well, I'm still picking up. I'm still doing that. Instead of just letting that man have a few days to recuperate because he's been working. When the kid's sick, he's still working. He might have to go get the kid situated. I got to go back to work. Oh, I got to jump back online late tonight. Oh, I got to get up early because we still have that thing while taking care of you and the kids when y'all are sick. Y'all don't understand. Like, you can just be quiet about this stuff. Like Sarah was saying, you can just be quiet. You can just be quiet. You're a loser.